Hope you can hear me well. We did a sound check, so I think everything should be working fine. Today, I'm excited to host a webinar which aims to help our partners understand C2 services better. So today I'll present you more about different C2 products, and then in the second half, I'm going to explain about partner program and how you as our partner can earn money by working with us. Today's agenda will cover 4 different topics, so stay until the end. And besides hearing about C2 services and the partner program, we are going to have a Q&A session, and then we are going to follow it up at the end by a raffle. And today we are giving away one DS220J. So when it comes to C2 Cloud, here are some basic facts that I want to leave to you as an introduction. So today, our C2 platform has 3 different data centers. They are located in Germany, in the US, and in Taiwan, so in the cities of Frankfurt, Seattle, and Taipei. And when it comes to our current storage capacity, it is at 200 petabytes. And with all the services combined, the C2 services are used today by over 100,000 users. Our C2 services, it can be said that they are built for trust and security, and we are able to accommodate data residency, which is certified by ISO standard 27001, and we can achieve data durability of 11 nines, which is essentially the same as AWS. Furthermore, our C2 services use AES 256 military-grade encryption, which means that even Synology is basically unable to decipher or decrypt the user's data. Lastly, we have dedicated our own security team, which is there in case there is an incident, and they can actually answer to you in case there are any threats or any possible security breaches. When it comes to our C2 services, which we have at the moment, there is actually a total of 8 different services. They are C2 storage, C2 password, C2 backup, C2 object storage, C2 transfer, C2 identity, C2 surveillance, and active insight. For those of you who are still not 100% convinced about why they should try C2 services, I would like to give you an overview of the main benefits of using cloud solutions. Firstly, there is an easy deployment and a very quick deployment. This basically means that it doesn't require you a lot of time or knowledge to get started and use any of the C2 cloud services. Secondly, there is a comfort of mobility as you are able to access all of the C2 services via the internet. And this basically means that there aren't any restrictions, so as long as you are connected to the internet. Thirdly, all of the data and apps that you are running over the internet can be automatically updated, and the features that we are developing for C2 become available as soon as the development is also completed on Synology side. Additionally, it is extremely easy to scale up and get more storage on cloud solutions should you need it. And moreover, the quality control and maintenance is done externally, so there are no additional costs for you if you are the user. Lastly, by using the cloud solution, you can bypass the initial investment cost that you have when you decide to use, for example, Synology NAS solution. Now I'm going to discuss about our first C2 service, which is called C2 storage. This service is actually meant to be used for Synology NAS users. It works through Hyper Backup application and also, as of recently, Hybrid Share. And it is designed to keep your NAS data protected and available at all times. In short, it is basically a backup or a copy of your data from the NAS that you can keep protected, and basically available at all times. Here in this slide is an example of how you would actually use C2 storage to make a backup of your data onto the C2 storage. The user actually has to use our known application, Hyper Backup, and to do this, they need to select C2 Synology as the donation for his or her backup. Once the backup is created, the data can then be explored and accessed without the NAS directly on the C2 storage web portal, and this data can also be recovered or downloaded to any different device. When it comes to hybrid share, this is actually a way where a person can mount their C2 storage as a shared folder onto their NAS, and this way they can get their data that is stored in the cloud, and they can access it through DSM or through FileStation or via their phone through DS Files. So when the cloud folder is mounted via DSM, the user can then assign which data should be accessed locally, which data should be stored on the cloud for viewing. This folder basically retains the same features as if the folder was a local shared folder. Therefore, different users can have data accessed according to their permissions. They can also set the possibility of file sharing and syncing, just as you would if you were using a normal shared folder on the NAS. Now, you might be wondering what would be the need for such hybrid share, because basically it is there to help users to scale up their data needs over time. And this is your answer. So should you need more storage and the storage need arises, you can simply once you run out of HDD space on your NAS, you can purchase additional C2 Cloud. It is also very handy as the data can be stored across different offices at the same time, and it is possible to do so with and this is possible to do so also with real shared folders that are on the NAS, but also you have the benefit of keeping them in the cloud. When it comes to pricing, there are two different products at the moment. So C2 Storage Basic, that is aimed more for home users who need up to 1 terabyte of storage. And there's also C2 Storage Advanced, which can be used by everyone who needs more than 1 terabyte of data. Payments can essentially be done monthly or annually. And in this slide, you can see the main differences between what you get with the advanced product versus what you get with the basic product. So basically, the advanced product includes hourly backup, customized retention policy, deduplication, and so on. Now, the next product I want to talk about is C2 Password. But before I do that, I want you to think about how do you at the moment manage your passwords. You use passwords such as easily guessed things like your birthdays or your pet names. Do you use few different passwords for all your accounts? Also, do you forget which account uses which password? And do you store maybe your password still on the notepad or an Excel file? If so, actually, you might have seen notifications like this in the past coming from your Google or from your Netflix or from your other popular services that you might be using. If this is the case, a password manager like C2 Password could actually be the solution for you. So actually, C2 Password will help you store password, and not only passwords, but other sensitive data such as addresses, bank information details, passport details, and it will allow you to keep everything organized in categories. You can put tags, you can make things in different folders, put favorite stars, and so on. So as I said, C2 Password is not only a password manager, but it is actually more than that. So here's an example of keeping and storing your IDs, for example, in C2 Password. On this slide, you can see the user interface of how C2 Password looks like. And you can see it's quite easy to manage. There are different categories, there are different share items, you can put different tags, and so on. As of now, C2 Password is available on different platforms such as Firefox, Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, and also as mobile apps on iOS and Android. When it comes to this product, actually there are two different versions. One is C2 Password, which is for free. So it's essentially for an individual user. And we also offer C2 Password Plus, which is actually a package which can be used by up to 6 members, and it costs $4.99 a year. Now, I'm going to make a small digression. So, I'm sure that most of you today are familiar with the logo on the slide at the moment. It's Active Backup for Business. And if you're wondering why I'm showing you this logo, it is because now I want to discuss about C2 Backup. C2 Backup is essentially the same application in terms of features like Active Backup for Business, only that you don't need to use your own NAS to run your backups. So there's nothing in the middle. You basically backup the data from different platforms directly onto the cloud. Uh, at the moment, we offer two different products, so C2 Backup for individuals and C2 Backup for business. And our current platforms, which are supported, range from Windows 7 to Windows 11. And when it comes to Mac OS, we support Mac 10.15.7 and above. For business users, we support Windows Server from 2008 to 2022, and we support also backup of mailboxes on Exchange Online and OneDrive for Business. When it comes to the pricing for the individuals, there are three different options. So there are 500 gigs, 2 terabytes, and 5 terabytes. All of them can be purchased either on a monthly or annual basis. And as for the features, you can see on the diagram that what we are currently supporting and what we also intend to support in the future. So down the product line, we intend to support macOS bare metal backup, and we also intend to support APFS snapshots and replication of virtual disk. We also intend to support Find My Device and integrate this into OS geolocation service. Ransomware detection is going to be improved through honeypot plus known file name pattern, and as well as file sharing for large files, such as files that are 2 terabytes or 5 terabytes, and also storage sharing. So not only data sharing, but also on the block level. When it comes to pricing of the business packages, they start at $499.95 a year or $49.95 per month. And actually, should your enterprise need more than 5 terabytes, you can also contact your dedicated C2 service provider or Synology directly for the quote. And as for the features we are supporting, we are also supporting on-premise Linux server backup, virtual machines running on hypervisors, VMware and Hyper-V, proxy mode to install an agents and VM in production hypervisor, and as well as Microsoft 365, OneDrive, SharePoint, and Teams. Now, the next C2 service I want to talk about is C2 Transfer. But before we dive deeper into the product itself, think about how do you usually transfer large files at your company from over the internet. So actually, when we are transferring sensitive files such as personal information, financial statements, medical records, contracts, or other business confidential documents, it is actually very important to do this in a safe and secure way. A method that you could actually deploy could be to use C2 transfer. This could be just a solution for that, as C2 transfer is safe and not very complicated. And all a user has to do are two simple things. And they are that the user has to upload the files onto the C2 transfer, enter the recipient's email address or a phone number, and or they can even share a transfer link, and you can even protect the uploaded content with the links that expire, download limits, watermarks, and so on. When it comes to the pricing, C2 transfer comes with two different options. They are professional and business, where actually the main difference is that you can set up when you use the business package, you can set up on top of that user management policies, and up to 5 users can be accessing actually a single amount. So that is a very handy feature. And actually, should a need for more than 5 users arise, in that case, the company should pay for additional user. Our next product that I want to talk about is C2 Identity. So actually, C2 Identity is a very handy tool, especially for system admins at a company. So if we imagine a situation where we have 100 users, for example, who are using 10 different services that are actually running on 10 different servers. In such case, a system admin would have to create 100 different users at these 10 different servers, and this would take a lot of time, and for sure we could think of a way to actually improve this process. So one such way to do so is actually through something that most of you know, and that's the directory server. So when we deploy it, the admin can then centrally manage all of the all of the users from a single place. And as you know, actually Synology NAS already offers this solution. So Synology has our own Synology directory server, but what happens in a case when we are running a different solution at a company that is being deployed on different platforms, that is also running in the cloud? What can we do then? Because it seems like this process is going to become complicated once again. What we can actually do is we can use C2 identity in such case, because this is basically a solution for this, as this is the global user management platform that is essentially based in the cloud. So this is a cloud-based directory server. It's going to allow the admin to access console from the browser, and they can manage the individual or groups of user accounts, and they can let users also manage their own credentials and personal information through the self-service portal. C2 can, at the moment, be integrated with cloud services running on Microsoft 365, Google Workspace, Dropbox, and AWS. Also, on top of that, it is of course possible to integrate it with already existing Synology NAS services. And in case that your solution is not listed here, with the utilization of Docker virtualization, it would also be possible to integrate services that are not listed. So here is an example of this. So in case we have 3 different offices across Europe, like in the diagram, here the admin can still manage all of the credentials and maintain the users and group policies from a single cloud portal by using C2 identity. Now, when it comes to pricing, C2 identity is free up to 250 users, and it allows up to 5 cloud applications with maximum of 10 devices with one edge server. So it has native integration with Microsoft 365 and Google Workspaces, as well as single sign-on integration and shared account support. Essentially, this free product is perfect to allow the users who are interested to test it out and see how it works. However, if you plan to use it and you see a benefit from C2 identity, then the business solution in this case starts at 199 euros a year or 1999 euros a month. And essentially, it has a very high limit of 2,500 cloud apps and devices with 25 edge servers, but for up to 10 users. Therefore, it can be said that for easier calculation, it costs 19.9 euros a year or 1.99 euros a month per per user in case you need it for more than 10 users at the time. I'm also briefly going to mention C2 surveillance, which is our latest C2 product. And although this product is still in beta phase, it is designed to make a backup or essentially a remote copy of your security footage from the surveillance station. The main benefit that you as a user would get that is that if in case of an event that your NAS or that is used as a recording server gets stolen or gets broken, actually your footage is still going to be stored onto the cloud. So basically how it works is that it records the 10-second difference between what your surveillance sees and what is stored in the cloud. So in case that you lose your data on the NAS, you would essentially have only a loss of 10 seconds. At the moment, if you're using recording server and a host server, you would for the external footage to be stored at a different place, you would lose around 30 seconds. So this is the main difference. When it comes to the pricing, C2 surveillance is planned to exit the beta testing on October 31st, 2022. And before that, any user can test C2 surveillance for free. But subscriptions are also going to be available, and they're going to be used for data residency in Europe and North America at the moment. And we are also running a sale, so you can see on the diagram that we have a sale for a yearly account. Now in this part, I'm going to talk about C2 object storage. So what is actually object storage? Essentially, it is a solution for storing and backing up any unstructured data such as emails, collaboration files, survey responses, social media content, search engine queries, you name it, IoT sensor data, etc. On top of that, you could be storing also images, audio or video files from your media hosting, as well as data from backing up virtual machines and running applications. So the main benefit, essentially, of object storage is the fact that you have this infinite scalability, which means that you can keep adding data forever. Essentially, there are no limits. And thanks to its flat structure, object storage doesn't have the same limitation as file or block storage. And this hierarchical system often experiences complications when it comes to scaling out. And those difficulties are avoided in an object storage environment because the system scales out by adding nodes. And object storage can easily scale out data to petabytes without any restrictions. Secondly, there's faster data retrieval due to the categorization structure of object storage and the lack of folder hierarchy. So you can actually retrieve data much faster this way, and each object in the storage environment has its own identifying details comprised of metadata, ID numbers, which the OS reads to retrieve the data. And without the need to sift through the file structure, the retrieval is therefore much faster. So thanks to this metadata and ID numbers, users don't need to know an object's exact location to retrieve it. And thirdly, there are actually fewer limitations compared to traditional file or block-based system. For that reason, object storage is far less limited because it's not organized in this hierarchy. So some of the practical uses for object storage would be for data lake, so to collect data from sensors that are continuously running, big data analytics, for backup to protect data stored in servers or apps, for web assets, so to host and deliver statistics of web applications, CSS images, and so on, for media hosting, for people who host a lot of video, photo, or audio information, to archive data, and also to run cloud apps. So essentially, you could say for everyone. C2 object storage at the moment is also in beta phase, so it can only be tested, and it's essentially very simple and affordable cloud object storage. And on top of that, it has S3 capable APIs. So if you are asking yourself why you would opt for C2 object storage, well, essentially it is same as AWS. So we support the same reliability benchmark with 11 nines. So it's very reliable. It has the same support, so S3 compatible APIs for integrating it with existing services. But why it is better, it is because it is going to be a lot cheaper. So basically, the price is going to be the main factor. And although you can still not book this, you can test it. And here you can see what would be the difference in pricing of C2 object storage versus our close competitors who offer similar service. Now I'm going to talk about Active Insight. So it's the only one that doesn't have the C2 in the naming. So basically it is because it's actually used for something else. Active Insight is a cloud service that provides better technical support and experience with faster troubleshooting. And when it's enabled, it allows overseeing of multiple Synology NAS, and the system admin can manage the NAS across different locations with performance monitoring and automated warning systems. So it will analyze all the statistical data to help you diagnose anomalies on all the NAS across different sites, which means that you as an admin, you can monitor all the metrics, all the intuitive dashboards, make scheduled reports, and produce them into PDF or CSV format. And they can also automatically be delivered to allow you to stay up to date with your NAS status. When it comes to other features that are coming out or that have come out on Active Insight, one of them is updating your firmware. So it is possible also to update the firmware as well as DSM and packages, as long as you're using DSM 7.1. At the moment, there is no subscription for Active Insight. However, this will start from Q4 2022. And if you are interested in using it, you can test it out for free. Also, what's going to come in 2022 when it comes to Active Insight, it is snapshot replication and also file access activity. So now that I have presented all of the products in details, I want to explain to mainly our partners and those who are interested in selling C2 services, how you as a partner can actually sell it. So please listen carefully during this session. Basically, C2 partner program is designed for you to help you as our partner to grow your business via selling C2 services. So C2 partners are essentially entitled to periodic e-news, which allows them to get more information from us and get educated about the new updates regarding C2. And if you manage to combine different C2 solutions and sell them as a single service or as combined services, you can also multiply your earnings. And lastly, if you have a good selling plan, you can reach out and even receive up to 1,000 rebate to activate your business. The partner portal will also allow you to centrally manage all of the subscriptions from your customers who are using different C2 services. And also the platform is fully automatic. Therefore, all the billing and the rebates are going to be done by the platform itself, which means you can count on the dates and when the rebates should be available to you. Lastly, you can multiply and combine different products, and this way you'll be able to generate more rebates and essentially increase your margin. So, so please listen carefully now, and I will explain how you get started with the platform and centrally manage your clients. So first thing you have to do as a company is have a Synology account. So if you don't have one yet, please go to our website and find out how you can open up Synology accounts. Actually, Boris, could you also post it in the chat? Just leave the link to anyone who doesn't have a Synology account. They can go and open one up free of charge. So once you have done this, reach out to your Synology representative, who will then be able to open up the C2 platform account and give you access to it. So keep in mind that having a Synology account is not enough for you to know, for us to know that you have one. So you have to inform us manually at this step, or you can also go to C2 website once you have the Synology account and let us know of your interest through the inquiry form that you are interested to work with us as a C2 partner, and only then we are going to receive the inquiry. Thirdly, so now that you have the access to the platform, you'll be able to see the partner portal, such as the one you are able to see right now on the slide. So at this point, you have become managed service provider. So now when you want to start promoting C2 to your clients, so to your customers, what you have to do is you need to ask them to do the same step that you did. So they have to also create a Synology account if they don't have one. So it's the first step for you is now what you need to instruct to them. So when they have done this, what you do is you take the email that they used to create the Synology account, and then you can add them to the portal. So here, to when you are managing the client, you add the new client, new customer, and then you use this email to add them to your centralized management portal. So at this point, you are successfully starting to manage your clients. So the C2 services that your clients now need when they make a purchase through you as a managed service provider, you are the one who is actually entitled to receive the rebate based on the turnover. So if the user has the Synology account created already, at this time you can this time they approach you, all you have to do is ask them to make sure that they are purchasing the C2 services through this account, so that you don't lose the turnover that should be managed through the platform. Now that you have managed the partner successfully, let's say, now you can manage and have an overview of all of their subscriptions. So when they make a subscription that through this email, this is a customer of yours, then they will be all of this billing is going to go through you to them. So basically what this means is when they make a purchase of C2 backup, we are going to as Synology charge you as our managed service provider, and in return, based on the turnover, you actually get the rebate back based on the different turnover thresholds. Now, how you organize the billing side towards your partner, so towards your client, this is actually on you, and this is entirely how you base your business. So should you decide to sell C2 services individually or together as an add-on feature with the NAS portfolio, this basically is going to be dependent on your skills and your current business and how you run things, and not actually on Synology entirely. On top of that, so when you're running this, when you have your different clients, the partner portal actually allows you to do many different features. So you're going to be able to manage partners easily and switch from one partner to another, so from one client to another, to see what your clients are using. And essentially, you're going to have a very easy overview. So should the partner also need more assistance, you can also arrange all the setup and management from the portal site. So this was something that was asked before. Now this is possible. So if you want to fully manage everything for your partner, this essentially you can sell then as an add-on service. So you, as a managed service provider for Synology, you can now charge your partner directly for managing their C2 backups, for example. And of course, in order to get started with this, your client, essentially your customer, needs to give you the permission for this from their side. So when it comes to actual payments, all the invoices that Synology is going to bill towards you as our managed service provider as a result of adding your clients and purchasing additional C2 services, the billing is going to be happening on a monthly basis. So you will be able to have an overview of this and actually oversee all of the transaction tabs, and you can also set up the payments to be executed via the credit card or any other bank card, not only a credit card. Or for those who are in the EU, you can also do it via the SEPA mandate. When it comes to the invoices, they can be tracked easily also on the platform, and you can download them and you will have a timeline overview. Also, when you are the managed service provider, you can entirely manage the policies of your end customers. So keep in mind that if you decide to terminate the contracts or the business relations with any of your clients, actually the client is the one who needs to click on terminate from their side. So this actually works towards you also in your favor, because this way you can prolong the use of the services and the businesses that you offer. In case the client forgets to do so, then you can charge them for an additional month. Now, when it comes to the rebates, which actually serve for you as an additional margin, you can find them also under the rebates tab, and they are going to be tiered and aggregated, so you'll be able to see all the progress that you have made and also the targets that you have reached so far. So essentially, just like the invoices, the rebates are also tracked through a timeline, so you can see all the history, and you will be able to see when you were paid out by Synology and when you will be paid out by Synology. Now, when it comes to the rebates, there are actually different levels, and on this slide you can see the different rebate levels. So when it comes to level 1, so this one here, you're entitled to monthly and also quarterly rebates. And there's already a 3% monthly rebate when you sell more than 100 euro worth of any C2 product. So additionally to this, under level 1, there's also quarterly rebate of 6%. And in case your sales go over 3,000, they're 6%. And in case your sales per quarter go over 6,000, you're entitled to 9% additional rebate. So, for example, if you start selling C2 services, let's say in January, and you sell 200 euros, you will receive initially, just as a head, like a from the start, 6 euro rebate. And then let's say in February you sell additional 2,000, so you will receive 60 euro rebate. So this is the monthly again, 60. And then in March you sell 4,000, so you receive again 120 euros, so the monthly rebate of 3%. Now, on top of that, you are also entitled to extra quarterly rebates. So if this is Q1, so you sold from January to March in total 6,200. So this falls under this threshold of 9%. So you would receive on top of that as a quarterly rebate 558 euros. And then you will be able to see all of this stacked up in your rebate tab in the partner portal, which you can then use to actually reduce the next incoming invoice. Keep in mind that the rebates can be stacked up over the entire year and then used up at once, or you can use them monthly or quarterly. It's essentially really up to you how you decide to go with this. Now, there's also a second level partnership. So this will only come into play once you start working with us for 1 year. And this is essentially only for those who are specialized in selling C2 services. So in order to be entitled to this, you need to be having turnover annually of 30,000. And once you actually reach this turnover, you are entitled to upfront 10% rebate on C2 services, as well as 10% on C2 backup, or 20% upfront on C2 object storage, C2 identity, and C2 transfer. So once you are this big partner, the monthly and the quarterly rebates change. So the discounts that are actually granted on the monthly basis go up to 10%. And then you are also entitled to extra quarterly rebate on backup and object storage. So on additional revenue, so marginal revenue of 1,000, you get 100. And for a C2 identity and transfer, the marginal revenue of 1,000, you get 200. So this was the official part of the webinar, and what I talked about so far was recorded. I saw there were some questions coming in, so I'm going to of course make a video out of this as always, and it will be posted on our YouTube channels, and all our partners are going to be informed about this in a follow-up email. And now we have some questions that so far I saw Boris was trying to answer directly in the chat, but let me see if there's still something. You guys can post a question now, and then I'll try to make an answer for you right here. And if I'm unable to do so, then you will receive also a group of FAQs, basically the Q&A session from today, so that you can look at it afterwards. Okay, so I see one question, whether more people will be able to basically manage a single single partner portal, and the answer is yes. I'm not sure when this will come into play, but I'm assuming very soon. As you can see, we are really trying to develop the partner portal as much as we can. And since I don't see any more questions, I'm going to move on to the raffle. So for all of you who are still present here with us, in order to participate in today's raffle, what you need to do is actually fill out this webinar consent form if you are interested to participate. And I'll give you some time. And then afterwards, I'm going to announce the winner.